We have with us in the studio Emmanuel of Okpebholo Esquire. He's a legal practitioner, and of course, I like calling him a civil rights activist. Thank you for coming.
DPO. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, all right. Sitting very close to him is Engineer Prince Lucky Igbenedion, the Special Assistant to the Edo State Representative on the board of NDDC, apex leader of the All Progressive Congress in Igbanke East Ward, and former Senior Special Assistant to Governor Godwin Obaseki. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, DPO. And good morning, Nigerians.
All right, let's start with you, Barrister Emmanuel Okpebholo. Help us now. What are the top three expectations of Edo citizens as the new governor prepares for November 12th?
Well, Edo-lights have so many expectations because since 1999, in this supposed new democratic dispensation, democracy as it is practiced in other climes and in consonance with the tenets of democracy, I don't think the people of Edo State, Edo-lights, have really enjoyed that opportunity. Though we've witnessed catalog of transition, some came with their head high, their heads very high, and they did tell us what they would do. Though we have witnessed some little touch, so to speak, and because of what the people, the anticipation of the people is so high, you cannot now quantify that which has really taken place to the demand, anticipation, prayers of the people. So I think you are in this state, or you were in this state when the heavens opened its mouth on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, or Friday, and you saw everywhere flooded. And we've been told since 2007, the Edo water storm, those big grammar, we're told the market women, the laborers out there, were told that it will be a thing of the past. But in this very moment, we have not seen that. So the anticipation is so high. But then the people have their fears. I, in particular, have my fears.
Okay.
Whether or not the kingmakers would allow the drivers in Osadebe Avenue to drive us to near El Dorado, not El Dorado, but near it in this epoch. So that is my fear.
Okay.
And I think that is also the fears of the people of Edo State. No roads, absolutely, in Edo State. No road. Then, when you look at this present government was able to pin the principle of Agberoism like we used to witness in this state. So I do hope that the incoming government would borrow a leaf from this one and not to turn Edo State to become haven for Agberos. And the people will start another round of complaints as it used to be.
Comrade Lucky, you heard what he said, but I would like you to take it from another angle. Some Edolites are already crying that the lions and tigers have been released. Well, some of us have been wondering, who are these lions and where are the tigers? Probably they are actually hiding under the shades of Agberos, like he actually said. What are your fears for this next administration?
Well, thank you very much for that question. In every society, in every state, there are bound to be different categories of people. especially when it comes to politics and democracy, where everybody, all hands are needed. But however, what's is important is the personality who is driving, who is in the driver's seat. And the person of Senator Monday Okpebholo, unarguably, is a man of peace, unarguably, is a leader, unarguably, is not in the attitude, character of lions and tigers, as you have termed it. So these are the people who have in our society. What is important? What is important is how do you manage these people? You know, it's not, they are in Lagos, they are in London, they are in US, they are in New York. If you go to New York, you meet them. How
So
do
we
you
have
manage
lions
them?
and tigers in
In
US.
London.
Yes.
In London, okay,
They are in
everywhere.
London. If you go to London, when you are going to work, you see some people gambling. By 8 o'clock, they started gambling.
But you actually said we need all these ones. They are part of the drivers.
They are a creation of the system. It is because of government failure. That is why we have these people.
So they should be accepted.
There are some people that were not educated because of government failure in the past. In 1970, in the 80s, in the 90s. Now, there are some people who have learnt that kind of style because of government neglect over time. For example, the Niger Delta agitators, these people are agitating for something.
Okay.
They have they have what they are
They
looking
have
for.
cogent reasons
Yes,
why they are
and they have
agitating.
what they can do that you cannot do.
Okay. We had the privilege of having the YPP governorship candidate in the Edo gubernatorial election. Is the person of Honorable Paul Okumbo. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we still have you, Engineer Lucky. You were walking us through the lions and tigers and how they are part of the incoming administration, if we got you clearly. Please help us. Are we going to have them take sensitive position? Because I wouldn't want to be mentioning names, but there are fears already that some of these talks are returning back to the streets.
Okay, thank you very much. As I said, the lions and tigers, quote and unquote, is a part of every administration. They are in this administration. If you are following the trends of events, you see that in some months to the election, the personal ADC of the governor-elect was assassinated in front of the airport. It was assassinated by lions and tigers.
Well,
that are in the
investigations are still on.
There are people already made confessional statement. They are in the state, there were the police. Some have been charged to court. So that is it. We know what happened. I was in airport through that day. I was driving past. So there is no. If I can even be a witness in that matter. If
DSS can pick you now after this interview. DSS can carry you.
I can submit myself.
Okay.
If they need information.
Okay.
But there's no information that is hidden. There are CCTV cameras there. We know those who parked in front of the airport. Later they went to this hotel opposite the airport. Then they came back, and at the end of the day, somebody was killed. Those are the lions and tigers we are talking about. So in every society, we have this set of people, but for them to work in consonance with government, to leave government house, using government vehicles, to go and assassinate a policeman, that is what we don't want. If you know you have physical strength, everybody cannot be a lawyer, everybody cannot be a doctor. Some people like to collect revenues from the market. Some people like to stand in the sun. Some people like, any talent you have, the government that is coming is going to accommodate everybody. It's going to accommodate everybody. The pastors, the boxers, the footballers, those who believe we can fight insecurity. Yes. We had a meeting in my community and we told those who are stubborn. I said, look, very soon we are going to be needing you guys.
Give them appointments.
Yes, very soon we are going to be needing you guys. We have some Fulani herdsmen that have kidnapped somebody in the bush, and we heard that they are still there. So we are going to be, since people are very strong, we need you guys who are going to go into the bush one day and fish them out.
Civilian JTF.
All these people are needed in the society.
Okay. Engineer Lucky, it's good we have someone like you balancing this discussion. Let's come to you, Honorable Paul Okumbo. What are your expectations? Senator Monday Okpebholo will be taking over Edo State leadership any moment from now. You were in that race. What are your expectations from him?
Well, from the controversies that heralded the emergence of the governor-elect, if I were him, I will overperform. My expectations are that he should shut every mouth. Because whether we like it or not, he's governor, and Edo deserves the best. If I were him,
my performance will be, for now, will be seen or perceived as an underdog. But when I get sworn in, what the people begin to see and hear will be baffling. It is what is naturally expected from a man who perhaps got very little chance to get into office, and however got into office, I think he should be ready to prove serious points. And I think if I were him, I would be shutting down lips by proving serious points, and I will be doing a lot more than I even probably promised the people.
Okay. All right. Barrister Okpebholo, some persons actually felt the administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki actually worked, and it's going to be a very wide margin for the incoming administration. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree. Why will somebody say the administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki actually worked? And if you want to look at it from a bird's eye view, I would say on the part of the civil servants, good, he's a good decorator. They are going to renovate. Yes, he can renovate, he can do all of those. So the civil servant, he did well. But outside that, absolutely has done nothing. That is my opinion. And see, the challenge we have in this part of the world is that instead of having advisors, instead of having those who can tell the truth, we have those who can beat the drum. And that's why maybe the saying, he who pays the piper dictates the tune of the dance. That happens to be our rhythm over here. And that is why, good, like I did say in my introduction, the governor was able to pin, quote and unquote, now the tigers and the lions. He was able to pin them. And this state was relieved from the principle and era of Okpebholoism. He was able to do that. I give it to him. And unfortunately, we did expected so much from this administration, because I remember in 2020, the song, the poem of the day was Togba, Togba, and after the election, we heard Ogbane. But how has that impacted the lives of the people? You were here in this state just last week here on Friday. It rained. How did it go with the people? So many houses were rendered helpless. In my place at Uwasota here, people ran out of their houses. But it's not something we want to begin to tell the whole world, because we don't want to wash our dirty linens outside. But the government indeed has not tried. And this present governor was part of the planned Edo water storm. In fact, we are made to understand that Comrade Senator Adams of Chomole told us that it was his idea. But did he follow suit when he got to power? The answer is a capital no. And so that is what we've been seeing. And that's why I did say that the incoming drivers of Osadibe Avenue, I do hope that the kingmakers will allow him to do his best possible for the people. He's not the one that, because already rumors making the rounds, they're already fighting over appointments. So that is to tell you that from the genesis of it, they are bound to fail. And that's why my very self, I do not expect or anticipate anything from them.
Okay.
Instead, I have more fears for them coming into power.
You have more fears. Engineer Lucky, quickly help us. Insecurity, infrastructure, agriculture. Which of these should the governor-elect hit or start with?
Thank you for that question. The governor-elect has made it clear that from day one in the office, in fact, how do you rate somebody's performance? How do you project somebody's performance? What he will do? It's from what he has done. So even before he came into politics, he has been providing security for his people. How do you provide security? You have insecurity because the vigilante, the local security outfit, they don't have vehicles, they don't have equipment, they are not motivated. So the governor-elect have been doing that. And that is what we need. What are the things that are required for insecurity to be curbed in this area? That is what the government is going to do. So once you curb insecurity and you deal with infrastructure development in roads, which you have been doing, there's a road is constructing, one of his constructing projects, in his own community. If you enter the drainage, it will swallow you. That is a consensus project of a senator. If you enter the drainage, it will swallow you. It's above 6 feet. That is to tell you the kind of the quality of infrastructure which is going to bring. It's not going to bring growth where the drainage will be like this table. I grew up in Yola, our Telecommand Children's School, Yola. The drainage in front of my house, we used to use it to do long jump as children then. So if you can jump the drainage, that means you are a very good long jumper. So those are the kind of drainage that as it is raining, you don't see water, it disappears into River Benue. Now we have a Ikuba River here, we have a river. So let us connect all the drainages to this river. So that when it rains, we won't see all these things. So those are the kind of things he's bringing. And when you talk of agriculture, it's part of the economy. Once you fix security and you fix infrastructure, the economy will, because people will come with their money. There are a lot of people that have their money. They cannot come and invest because they are afraid of insecurity. They are checking, how can I get to this village now to go and start building hotel? How can I get here to go and start building high institution?
Okay.
Are you sure? So once you fix insecurity and fix infrastructure, then the economy, that is a blueprint for the economy to start booming.
Okay, Honorable Paul Okpebholo, help us now. What changes in healthcare do you anticipate as a person? And what do you believe is urgently needed to improve public health facility?
I would deliberately try to avoid anticipating any performance, and at the same time, I would deliberately also avoid lampooning any incoming government. I would rather say that whoever is taking the reins of power now, as in the person of Okpebholo, should know that there has been so much inadequacy in the health sector. And as a matter of truth, very many of us have become victims of the poor healthcare system. He should know that across the 18 local governments, it is being grossly inadequate what is available. You should also be made aware of the Jackpot syndrome that has hit the health sector, a situation where you have almost a redundant workforce, to implement medical care. These areas need urgent attention. These areas need kind of an investment power, something that goes beyond just talk, something that in principle can ignite confidence in the people. I believe the governor-elect should be looking outside the box of what's currently obtainable within the health sector. I think he should be reaching out extensively on partnership. I believe that because of the population surge in Edo State, he should be looking at more infrastructure, very importantly, diagnostic care. Diagnostic care has become a major problem in the healthcare system of Edo State. Poor diagnosis is one of the leading causes of the eventual deaths of patients because diagnosis has been, for me, eroded over time. There has been scientific evolution that have supported modern trends in diagnosis, but sadly, our system is still quite analog. And I think there's a need for huge investment across the primary healthcare centers, which will not be just in terms of the infrastructure to show the cameras, but in terms of the needed medical equipment, and very importantly, the personnel. I think Edo has the resources to probably woo people to start returning back to our healthcare system. There used to be foreigners, and there is still one in somewhere around Wasota. It's an Indian doctor. We used to have a lot of foreigners who were doctors in the time past, who were residents here, working here. There are still some Chinese who practice some kind of unorthodox medicine somewhere around Aburime and New Benin. So I'm thinking that as governor, there is a lot that needs to be done, because until the point of death, you will not know that government has failed you. It is when you get to that point, you realize that it's either poor diagnosis led you to a worse condition, and eventually you're going to find yourself in the afterlife. And I believe for every person who has found themselves in the afterlife, my mother inclusive, if they could look back, they would tell you, if only you have just made available, perhaps maybe common oxygen, maybe if you have just made available, or if there have been proper budgetary implementation devoid of theft. If men and women who go to public office would not go there to masturbate the commonwealth of the people, but rather want to concentrate on saving their lives, because at the point of sickness and possibly you're faced with terminal disease, your most absolute is government as far as humanity concerns, and then the rest you have to hinge it on God. But what do we have today? We have situations where the people's purchasing power has been grossly reduced. and the emergence of lifestyle disease has not reduced. And the cost of footing the bills of buying medicines, for example, has gone astronomically up. So people are actually faced with debt situation, whether we agree, whether we want to make it a conspicuous debate or not. You are only talking to me here because you are fortunate to have good health. If you had a lifestyle disease that takes millions from you on a monthly basis and you know your salary will not cut that, the next thing you are hoping government will do something. So I think the governor-elect should be very aggressive on healthcare.
Okay, Barrister Okpebholo, education remains a major priority for any society to thrive. This administration has also tried to do what they can do as far as the do best is concerned. Do you think the incoming government should leverage on what we have on ground in Edo State or start up something different entirely?
I don't know what, I can't comprehend this administration has done what it needed to do in terms of education in the state with the lazy man approach to education. I was taught, my teacher comes to class, primary school. I attended Command Children's School in Kaduna. I also went to Command Secondary School in Kaduna. My teachers come to class to teach me. My teachers will give me notes from what they, over the night, prepared. Not this one, we have tablets. And so we say, go and get Wi-Fi or go to Wi-Fi environment so that you begin to lecture children. I see it as laziness. It makes the teachers to be lazy. It makes the students to be lazy. And we begin to look at it that, oh, science and technology, we are trying to be technological. I don't sanction. I don't give excuse to that kind of approach to education. Yes, just now, we saw the building of the Ministry of Education, the decoration, in my word, of the Ministry of Education. We've seen it. But go to the schools in the villages. Should I begin to count? I've been to some schools. No chairs. Building collapsed. One of them in a community called Okpebholo. I was there. Iyokogbaye, the same thing. And somebody is not telling me that, oh, he has done well in terms of education. I do not agree absolutely with that.
So do you think the incoming administration should leverage on what they have on the ground?
I have my fears. You know why? You can only give what you have. You cannot give what you don't have. So, in terms of education, I don't know. Before I will begin to say whether the incoming governor means well and will do well in education depends on those he's going to appoint around him. By the time I see the same caliber of human beings that we have just now in his cabinet, my brother, I will tell you that there is another era of failure.
Engineer Lucky, there's hunger in the land. At the federal level, the federal government is still trying to see how to balance up. And APC will be officially taking over Edo State. What are your fears? Will APC perform?
Well, I have no fears. I'm very confident that the incoming administration is going to perform starting from day one. Because that's what they call the willpower. The governor-elect has the willpower to change the narrative of the people. He has emotional intelligence. And that is, and he has common sense. That is key. That is all that we need to change the narrative. There was a time we heard that the president gave Edo State 20,000 bags of rice. I've not seen that rice to date. 1 grain. Well, we've seen, the other time we saw one that came from NDDC. We shared it. My community will line the women up. We say, let's give this to women. Because every household has a woman. And we'll get 1 bucket. Madam, take. 1 bucket. Madam, take. And it went a long way. We started having
1 bucket of rice.
Yes. And if it comes again the next month, it is from government. It's called palliative. It's not for you to start selling rice.
Okay.
Yes, and if we have brought mosquito net,
and shared. It got to hundreds of women. We brought provisions, granite oil, and we gave them one 4 liter. So those are, it's called palliative. It's getting to the people, and it encourages the people that there is a government that have not forgotten them. It is not for you to have it in one store. So I'm very confident that starting from day one, this government is going to perform, because the government has taken social welfare as one of its key agendas. It's going to spread down the 1 and 2 words.
Okay, before we get to Honorable Paul Okumbawa, the governor-elect, he wasn't really talking all through the campaign period. Edolites were expecting him to speak on some sensitive issues, or let me put it this way, he didn't grant any media interview apart from the one we saw on BBC, and maybe some of his campaigns he had in some rural places where he spoke. But some persons are saying from his body language, he could be someone who might not really have the guts to take the bull by the horn when he gets to the office.
Okay, well, that is, if you've read about leadership, you know that the governor-elect is a leader. For you to be able to unite political powers, for you to be able to unite political giants, and all of them come together, work for you in unity, that man, I'm going to give him. I give it to him when it comes to leadership. And in that same vein, when he takes over power, he's going to govern in such a way that all these things people are hearing will be rumor. And you see that everybody is working in unity and in unison to deliver the promises of the government.
All right, Paul Okumbawa, you are a businessman, you are into business. What is the fate of small and medium-scale businesses?
Honestly speaking, I wanted to just take a little note on what my brother here said.
Okay.
I don't believe in palliatives. It's a language of slavery. They coined this language from the post-corona era, and they have used palliative to steal a lot from the people. I don't subscribe to the government that wants to share bucket of rice, or even share bags of rice, or share mosquito nets. My generation expects more. My generation can do more. It is that I'm praying that the governor should surround himself with eggheads, people who can just look at debts and create wealth from debt. You see, until we have a government that can create wealth, we're just in a round peg. And there was something my elder there also said, that he's waiting to see the faces that will represent this government after appointment. If it is the old face as usual, then it's business as usual. However, as far as businesses go now, if I'm to revert back to your questions, businesses are suffering. Players of labor are mostly packing up. I'll give you very lucid examples coming from my own experience. I'm a school proprietor. I recently had to increase school fees and salaries for my staff. And I also wrote to them that I will do another increment again by January. And it's not that it's comfortable for me. It is that I've observed that life has become usually discomforting for them. The cost of transportation went abysmally up. The cost of living right now, the living is finding it so difficult to live. And I see these things and I know it's painful. So it takes away from me chunk size of revenue to make sure I solve problems for nearly 500 persons, because I believe that their joy will give consistency. Because if the Jackpot syndrome that hit the medical sector hits the teaching profession, then we're going to end up raising bastards. As I speak to you, the UAE is advertising for teachers from Nigeria. They are wooing them like madness. Japan is advertising for teachers. They are wooing them from Nigeria. And here's the thing: we can't give what we don't have. So I'm praying that those who will be running government should not give excuse like this current administration started giving excuses. First of all, you hear excuse like this is federal road, please bear with us. And next thing you hear is that this federal government that is causing the hunger. Next thing you hear is that it's the federal government that made fuel to go up. That's why life is difficult. You had campaign promises. You told the people that you were a technocrat, that when you get into office, you will turn stone to wealth. What happened? Stop complaining. So I pray this admission doesn't lean to complain, because there's anything at all. The reality is that there's a lot to hold on to as far as complaints go. They will chew complaints because they are coming to meet serious task on ground. And right now, as we speak, the federal government, via its instruments such as the Nigeria Electric Council NEC or so, have abysmally increased light bill. One of my properties uses the band A light. Last month, they wrote me a letter increasing it from 68 naira 50 kobo per kilowatt to 209 naira 50 kobo per kilowatt. That's more than a 300% increment. And as we speak, light bill in that property, the last bill they brought was 697,000 naira. So the big question is, what do I do for a living? How much do I generate in the property? Is it because it's on a band A street? And the next thing is, if I must survive, I will have to increase service or goods within that property. And I put the burden back on the people. So businesses are not finding it funny at all. If there is any person who deserves palliative, it is the employers of laborers and businessmen. Palliative in the sense that it will not be rice. It will be government grants. Grants are usually mostly not payable. There are also international grants that government could actually use their own instrument to outsource. But we find out in the time past that men and women in government have sourced such grants and taken it to themselves. People went as far as duping HIV victims in this state. They collected the money, opened their NGO overnight, collected the money. So, to be sincere, the business environment, Okpebholo needs to hold a business summit. But I'm going to tell his agent here that when he reverts back as part of step to ensure that he doesn't fail, because people like us will be waiting to tell the world how he's failing. But we are praying he shouldn't fail because it is the people that will be hurt as if he fails. First thing is, he needs to sit down and say, government cannot employ more than it should. Who are those that have employed people? Call them, sit down with them, ask them, what are the challenges? How can my government come in to ensure that you sustain what you are doing and improve on it and employ more persons? There are smart ways to get things done. And I just want to believe and hope that those who must have mocked your principal, who said he was incommunicable, of course he was. Those who perhaps, because the opposition party brandished it as though he's brain dead, they advertised him as somebody who is not smart or intelligent. I want him to take them by storm and by surprise. Let him sit down, let him assemble people who will not look at his face and say, God knows, sir, but tell him truth. Tell truth to power. People who will tell him, give him solution. See, solution creates wealth. We have myriads of problems across Nigeria. We have population. This is wealth itself. Population is wealth itself. So if Okpebholo is here to solve problems, I believe that there is hope. Because whether we like it or not, fresh people took over Osadebe Avenue, as against those that have been there for the past 8 years that have, for me, failed, including the education sector. I'm an educator. When you tell me about Edo best, if you give me time, I will shred it to number nonsense. But the elder here are just giving a lucid touch to it. You cannot begin to synthetically approach what should be naturally approached. Eggheads are the solution to impacting. The product of education is laced in the process of the impartation and those who are doing the impacting. There are born teachers. There are people who will make you go back home, begin to resonate creativity amidst the theory that has been taught. There are those who will stir the practical ingenious in you. If you put government infrastructure on practicals, you begin to see that creativity will start happening even from basic schools. It goes beyond teacher go and really start synchronizing. That was a brilliant idea too. I won't take that away because some teachers were becoming too lazy. They will not consummate the syllabus to fruition. So that way it was easier. But the problem was what was being communicated from the synthetic approach. What was the result thereof? Because Edo State government was fingered in the last BDC exam when they did my practice. And my practices subsist in secondary schools in Edo State. My practice is the result people are brandishing and say Edo is performing. I'm an educator. I'm a school owner. I'm also a tutorial owner. Examination. Tell them that Okumbo Apostle said, let them come and arrest me and put me in a small cell. Tell them I said the result they've been brandishing for the past 8 years are products of examination.
Do you have proof to this? This is a national team.
You see, we can keep telling ourselves.
Hope it's not just mere speculation.
No, I'm happy that those in the business of examination malpractice know I'm saying the truth just now. And those parents who have procured malpractice for their kids know I'm saying the truth just now. Truth should not be eroded even if we have standards to follow. We must say it.
Okay, talking about truth now, many people feel there is need for greater government transparency and accountability. Barrister Emmanuel Okpebholo, you're going to help us now. To an extent, some stakeholders are saying the APC government at the federal level is not transparent to an extent. Should we expect transparency from the incoming administration in
I
Edo
do not
State?
think so. A snake can only give birth to a snake. I do not think so. When you look at the APC as a supposed political party, you begin to wonder For me, I do not see them as a political party. I see them more as a gang. And
It's a registered political
I
party.
don't want to
by
believe in,
Okpebholo. It's a registered.
believe in all those.
And currently, they are not the opposition. They are the main political party.
What you allege in accusing another man, you come and do worse.
Virtually all parties are political gangs, sir.
Are you getting me? Now, if you look at the situation we have at the federal level, we were told once upon a time that, he will hit the ground running. And immediately the president came, we were told, I hit the ground running. Running to where? To this disaster, to this misery, to this hardship, to this pain, to this penury that we find ourselves today. You saw the drama. IMF has come out to deny that we didn't give you any admonition with respect to subsidy removal. You see it's a shame that we begin to look for foreign solution to our local challenges. The Asian tigers, like Japan, Chinese, what did they do? They discovered that the Western world has secrets that they never wanted them, Asians, to know with respect to development of their state and continent. What did they do? They went into local way of getting solution to their plight. I think that is what we should do. Not tying ourselves to the apron of these colonial lords. Now we see neo-colonialism. Like he was talking, he said, talk about palliative. What is palliative? Why are you giving palliative? Why should Nigeria, that is blessed by nature and God, Nigerians are now looking for palliative to survive? There is no part in the world that you can survive via palliative.
Okay.
It's just not possible.
Okay.
Now, coming another APC government in this state,
Yes.
I do not see positivity.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm afraid this is how far we can go, but Engineer Lucky, you want to take your final word? Please make it very brief. 10 seconds.
Thank you very much. My friend here made the comments that the governor-elect should call.
He's sending you.
Yes, he is a listener. He is someone who works with everybody. He's going to call everybody and say, look, what do we do? And what do. But I'm promising you that from day one, there are the things, the problems of insecurity will be tackled head on. Infrastructural development.
Engineer Lucky, somebody once said they should hold him responsible.
I don't end up like that.
That's where I'm going. Somebody actually said they should hold him responsible if this government didn't work. Okay. And now he's lamenting. Hope you are not speaking like that person now.
No. I am a professional myself.
Okay.
I have a job. I'm a current certified mechanical engineer.
Okay.
I'm a Prince 2 certified project manager. I'm a master of business administration. I have my business in Lagos. I have my business in Benin. I have my business in Abuja.
But you're not saying you believe in this government.
I'm also a farmer.
Oh, beautiful.
So there will never be a time where I will not be engaged.
Okay, Engineer Lucky. I'm afraid we don't really have time again. Thank you very much, Barrister Emmanuel Okpebholo, Engineer Lucky Benedion, for coming, and of course, Honorable Paul Ogumbawa. Thank you.